priority for Readable Crest Titans.
Hello and welcome to Special Stage and the Roberts Garage Jersey Rally 2018. Before we get into the action, let's see what's in store for the cruise this weekend. 27 stages lie ahead of the cruise this weekend, over 100 miles of competition on the challenging Jersey lanes, including 6 of those stages in the dark on day 1. So that's what the crews have to face over the next 2 days, so let's head out to the stages for the first loop of action. So, 2 stages in this loop, each run 3 times, and we can expect those stage times to get faster as the crews familiarise themselves after the first pass. Onto those stages then, and it would be the lead for Ross Lenoa and Dominic Volante. They had finished runner-up here in the pass and wanted the win here this weekend. Their closest rivals at this stage would also be family, Simon Lenoa and Katie LeBlanc, taking up second overall at this stage, 14 seconds back from the lead. For Jeremy Baudet and James Olivero, it would be third, the gap a little smaller, 11 seconds between them and that second place. Just outside the podium places, it would be the lead in Class C for Daryl Morris and Steve Gully, going well now and lying in 4th overall, 2 seconds off those podium places. It was a stressful start to the event for Simon Chapman and Neil Coleman, the car only just making it to the event on time after a cancelled ferry caused the team to find a freight boat to get the car over there. They make a good start though with 5th overall and the lead in Class E. Multiple event winners Simon Major and Brian Kamek were back this year, but in a lower power car, borrowing the escort from Simon's dad, they end the opening leg with 2nd in Class C and 6th overall. Just behind them in the class will be John and Jason Lebrun, the BMW pair taking 3rd in the class and 7th overall at this stage. And indeed they would have to watch out behind as Ron Allen and Derek LeBailey end the loop a handful of seconds back from that class podium in 4th. For Rob Dissent pair and Steve Hobbs, it would be 9th place overall, the pair ending the morning with 4th place in class, and rounding out the top 10 at the end of this loop were Ed Fossey and Will Rutherford, already showing some good pace from the start to put the car inside the top 10 overall and open up a significant lead in Class B. In some of the class places outside the top 10, it would be 2nd in Class E for Jim Munden and Nick Eccles, the impressive pair putting in some good times to start the day. Neil Cotillard and Helia Lucas had a score to settle on this event. Having crashed here quite badly a few years ago, they would be out this weekend with a family battle to try and win as well as get to the end. 3rd place in Class E and 16th overall for now. The front-wheel drive 2 class this year would be very closely fought, and it would be Michael Keane and Katie Sanders who reached the end of the first loop with the lead in that class in the Clio. They would be followed by Andy Corner and Aid Camp, just a single second back from that class lead at this stage. The gap to 3rd would be a little bigger, but still only 18 seconds. James Nicol and David Allman taking that place at the end of the first loop of stages. It would be a good start for David Ginn and Mike Timms, leading the way in Class A. Good considering the service van and spares hadn't made it to the island due to the cancelled ferries, so they were running with what they had with them today. For Paul Vibert and Michael Buzier, it would be 2nd in the class behind Ginn. This would be the first time competing on the event for Michael, but he would be in good hands, with Paul competing on the event 23 times. There would be some good improvements on the seating for Sam Bingle and Matthew Lebrun, 2nd place in Class B for the pair, a few minutes off the class leader Ed Fossey, but they were certainly holding everyone else at bay for now. 3rd in that class behind Bingle would be Paul Trabert and Jason Carre, 5 seconds back at this stage, and rounding out the podium places in that class. And for James Weaver and Teresa Butler, it would be 3rd place in Class A, the MG pair lying 47th overall as well. So with the first leg complete, it's a family-dominated podium at the top of the results, but there would be plenty more trying to take their place at the top in the next stages of the event.
Yeah, it's all gone well. First two stages we didn't have the intercom, so a co-driver was doing sign language. But otherwise, no problems at all. You've got to take it pretty steady to get into it. But it's early days. Just keep pushing hard and hopefully keep climbing.
So, how's it been going for you today?
Yeah, no, it's been really good so far. Yeah, I surprised myself a bit with the times this morning. We're just trying to keep it neat and still make sure, because Friday's a long day. But no, it's been a really good start to the event.
And on that second loop round, so we were in stage 1 and 3, you took like 10 seconds out of your first time. Was that a surprise?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's always hard to judge how much quicker you can go, because when you're driving every single corner, you're like, oh, I can't go much quicker. So yeah, it's always a surprise to see how much quicker you can go, but a nice surprise.
On to the evening then, and the stages move west. 2 more stages, once again run 3 times. The difference this time would be they'd be running in darkness. On to those stages then, and there would be no change at the top for Ross Lenoa and Dominic Volante. Having won Guernsey Rally and another event on Jersey, they'd be looking to add this one to the collection, their lead increasing as the day went on. So it would still be Simon Lenoa and Katie LeBlanc holding on to that second place for now. They may be slipping back from the lead, but their advantage in that second place was growing too. There will be some change in the podium places though, with Darryl Morris and Steve Gully stepping up to take that third place at this stage. Still leading Class C with that position too. The change in that place would be due to a penalty for Jeremy Baudet and James Olivero, dropping them down to 21st place overall. Without the penalty, the pair would have actually moved up to second place. So that change, of course, means change for many others too. Simon Major and Brian Cammack have a good run in the dark to move up to 4th and to continue to hold that second place in Class C. It would be a fantastic run in the evening for Ed Fossey and Will Rutherford. They get the car set up perfectly for the night stages, moving to a giant killing 5th overall, and of course leading Class B with a big advantage. John and Jason LeBrun gain a place overall with the movement ahead. Their third in Class C would remain safe though at this stage. The evening stages would also see Ron Allen drop out of the top 10, meaning that Robert de St. Pierre and Steve Hobbs gain 2 places in the night to take 7th place for now. Things were going well for Neil Cotillard and Helia Lucas. They were running some old suspension when the other stuff broke before the event and were finally getting it set up right now. 8th overall, and now with the lead in Class E. That lead would be due to a drop down for Simon Chapman and Neil Coleman. 9th place now. Simon trying out some new contact lenses this week. Perhaps they weren't quite up to the job in the dark. And rounding out the top 10 now are Martin Waters and Chomp Edwards. Fresh off the back of an event win in Cornwall a few weeks earlier, they would have plenty of confidence coming into this weekend. There would be change in the front-wheel drive 2 class in the evening stages. Andy Corner and Aid Camp now moving into the lead of that class, opening up a little more of an advantage there. There will be no change in Class A though. David Ginn and Mike Timms continue to go well and lead the class at the midway point in the event. Sadly, it wouldn't be good luck for everyone. We lose Dan Corner and Mark Regan in this evening stages. The pair have been running 5th in their class at the time. So with day 1 complete, there is a little change in the results, but that lead was still looking safe for now. On to day 2, and the loops will be extended a little. 2 stages for the crews as usual, but this time they'll be run 4 times each. And over those morning stages, the lead would indeed remain the same, with Ross Lenoa and Dominic Volante continuing to show how much they wanted the win this weekend and extended that advantage once again. And it would still be that second place for Simon Lenoa and Katie LeBlanc. They were not backing off. ready to take that place at the top should anything happen to our rally leaders. And indeed, they couldn't back off. Darryl Morris and Steve Gully would be hot on their heels in this morning's stages, holding that third place and just 7 seconds back from that second place. No change for Simon Major and Brian Cammack. They have been struggling with a few brake issues, but that wasn't stopping their good run. 4th place still for now. Sadly, we would lose Ed Fossey and Will Rutherford. They crash out on the morning's stages, both okay but a little sore. Some great pace leading up to that crash though. So there will be more change at our top 10, with John and Jason Lebrun taking advantage of that retirement to move up to 5th place overall now. Neil Cotillard and Helia Lucas move up a couple of places, their weekend looking like it was going to plan. 2nd in Class E still, and now in 6th place overall. For Robert de St Pierre and Steve Hobbs, there would be no change. They remain in 7th place overall and 3rd in Class D at this point of the event. Martin Waters and Chomp Edwards gained some time in this loop, moving up the results a little more to end the morning with 8th overall. Simon Chapman and Neil Coleman still hadn't recovered from the time they lost in the dark. They would also stop for Ed Fossey early into the morning stages. They end this loop with 9th overall and 2nd in Class E. And our new front-wheel drive 2 leaders, Andy Corner and Aid Camp, would step up a place now into the top 10, continuing to lead the class from 10th place overall. That class would take a big shake-up in these stages. We lose a number of crews, including our early class leaders, Michael Keane and Katie Sanders. They retire with mechanical problems just past our cameras. And we would also lose James Nichols and David Orman. Their reason for retirement a little more obvious, the pair hitting a wall in the opening stage of the day and pushing the wheel back, meaning they had to back the car off the stage and would go no further. So back to those that have finished the morning stages then, and it would be 3rd place in Class E still for Jim Munden and Nick Eccles. No problems for the pair at this stage. All of the changes in the front-wheel drive 2 class means that we see Craig Roberts and Carl Marshall stepping up to take 2nd place there. They rolled in the night stages last year, so they'll be happy to have got this far. And there would of course be change to 3rd in that class as well, with Richard Lynn McQuand and Trevor Rebay stepping up to take 3rd place there. The loss of Ed Fossey means that Class B would change, Sam Bingle and Matthew Lebrun stepping up to take that lead. Their first rally and proving the doubters wrong so far. They will now be followed in the class by John Eberall and Peter Jory. The pair were going well, although there was a bit of a gap to the class lead. And just behind them on the results were Paul Trabert and Jason Kari, themselves just less than a minute back from Eberall, 3rd in the class. Sadly, we would lose David Ginn and Mike Timms. They crash out of the rally just around the corner from Ed Fossey. This would of course mean a change in Class A, with James Weaver and Teresa Butler having a great day too, moving right up the order to take that class lead now. Sadly, an electrical fire on the night stages would cost Paul Vebert and Michael Buzier some time. They now lie 2nd in the class going into the final stages of the event. And it would be 3rd place in Class A for Kevin Shales and Steve Ahern, rounding out the class podium at the end of the morning loop. So confirmation then of the results. As the event moves into its final stages, the times look too big to change at the top, but as we have seen so far, anything is possible. On to the final loop of stages then. 2 more tests for the crews, run a few times, only a handful of miles left to make a change on those results. Sadly for Dale Crosey and John Baldwin, the event would take a turn for the worse. A late call on the notes will see them go wide, clipping a post and a concrete curb, breaking too many parts on the car to continue. A shame after a good run up to that point. On to the finishers, and it would be no change to that 3rd place in Class A for Kevin Shales and Steve Ahern. taking that place in the class as well as 48th overall. Gearbox issues throughout the event will see Nathan Ralt and Sean Bowler struggling a little, but they do finish the event. Great for their first time out on the event, ending the weekend with 44th overall. Carla Cornier and Matthew Godfrey had previously helped behind the scenes on the event and decided it was time to compete. They do get a penalty for an early check-in, but aside from that, things went well to finish 42nd overall and 4th in class. There will be no change for Paul Verbert and Michael Bezier. They end the event with that second place in Class A this weekend. Brake issues from the night stages onwards would cost Grant Collins and George Carter some time. Boost issues on the Saturday morning would also add to their problems. They do make it to the finish, slower than they wanted though, in 39th overall. Dave Edmonds and Dominic Jeans were no strangers to this event, having competed on it a number of times. They do have a few issues, but nothing that prevented them from reaching the finish, 38th overall. James Weaver and Teresa Butler were able to hold on to that Class A lead over the afternoon's stages. They take the class win this weekend, as well as 37th overall. In Class B, it would be business as usual, certainly the same as where we left them at the end of the previous loop anyway. Paul Trabert and Jason Kari taking third in that class at the end of this event. And indeed, it would be second in that class for John Eberall and Peter Jory. A great end to the event for the pair. But taking the win this weekend would be Sam Bingle and Matthew Lebrun. They more than halved their seeding, ending the event with 34th place overall, as well as the Class B win. This weekend would be the first time back for Chris and Fraser Terode since a big accident in 2014. Borrowing the wife's car this weekend, so it had to go back in one piece. They do lose the exhaust early on and resort to hand signals due to the noise, but apart from that, things have gone well for the pair. There would be last-minute drama for Paul Culverwell and Ryan Jones, the drive shafts failing in their final stages, losing the pair time, and meaning they only just make it to the finish to collect that 29th place overall. The front-wheel drive 2 class wouldn't change in these final stages. Richard Lynn McQuand and Trevor Rebay reached the end of the event with 3rd place in that class and 28th overall. And it would still be 2nd place in the class for Craig Robert and Carl Marshall. They would have a few issues along the way, but still a good result to come away with this weekend. This weekend would be the 30th anniversary of competing on the rally for Wayne LeBailey and Dave Price. It almost wasn't to be though. Engine problems before the event meant a rebuild to get them here, helped out by none other than our rally leader Ross Lenoa. 2005 event winners Stuart and Teresa Fossey would end this weekend a little further back than they would have wanted. A bad vibration in the car all weekend would mean they end the event with 16th overall. Intercom issues on day 1 would prove a challenge for Kevin Ralph and Dan Galashon, but they get the problems out of the way early and set some good times going forward, ending the event with 15th overall on Dan's first rally. There'll be no change for Jim Munden and Nick Eccles in the final stages. They come away with 3rd place in Class E, as well as 13th overall. It would be a win this weekend in the front-wheel drive 2 class for Andy Corner and Aid Camp. A great way to finish the event for the pair, just missing out on that top 10 finish as well with 11. A good push all weekend would see Steve Ellis and Jamie Vaughan reach that top 10, a place they had been aiming for from the start. They take that 10th place as well as 4th in Class C. No improvements for Simon Chapman and Neil Coleman, but they'll be happy with the finish, the Proton pair ending the event with 9th place overall and 2nd in Class E. A great end to the event sees Martin Waters and Chomp Edwards take 8th place overall. The BMW pair taking 4th in Class D with that result too. For John and Jason LeBrun, it would be third in Class C. A good end to the event, even if they do slip down the overall results a little into 7th place overall. Jeremy Baudet and James Olivero fight their way back up the results from their earlier penalty. They end the event with 6th place overall, as well as 3rd in Class D. A cracked rear brake disc would mean a neat and tidy drive would be needed in the final stages for Neil Cotillard and Helia Lucas. No more handbrake turns for the pair. They get to the end of the event though with the car in one piece and taking the Class E win in the process. For Simon Major and Brian Cammack, there would be no change. A small fuel issue was causing worry in the final stages, but they get through to take 4th place overall and 2nd in Class C. Onto those podium places then, and there would be some change. We see a step down the results to that 3rd place for Simon Onoa and Katie LeBlanc. Disappointing, but a podium on such a highly competitive event was well deserved. That of course meant that Daryl Morris and Steve Gully would take up that 2nd place now. The times were close, only 10 seconds in it by the end of the event. But for this year, it would be the win for Ross Lenoa and Dominic Volante. They take that victory by almost 2 minutes after a fantastic drive all weekend, adding Jersey Rally to the list of victories for the Escort pair in 2008. So confirmation then of the results here in Jersey. Still a family-dominated top 3, but Daryl Morris steps in at the last minute to separate that rivalry at the top of the results.
Congratulations, 1st place on the Jersey Rally 2018. Your driver won't speak to us, so we're going to rely on you to tell us how the weekend's gone.
Okay. Well, it went okay. It wasn't too bad. Went okay. You know, he could have pushed a little bit more, but you know, he was holding back. So, you know, he actually drove really well. You know, he deserved to win. We won Guernsey Rally, the tack attack. So yeah, it was 3. So 1, 2, 3. So really happy. Be back next year. Hopefully, you know, take it easy. You know, he drove well.
Congratulations, Daryl. I know this event has meant more to you than just today.
Yeah, it has been a momentous event. Obviously, big crash 5 years ago, so to come 2nd again this year, I'm pretty chuffed to be best fair. Yeah, well made up.
And you had an awesome battle going on for most of the weekend with this man here.
Yeah, Simon's pushed me all the way. I thought he had it this morning. We thought, right, we're going to try and push. We've been tit for tat all day. I think we've just got it, but only just. The guys have been fantastic. So it's been a real close battle and really enjoyed it.
We had a bit of an eventful day today. We managed to hit one bank with the front, had a bit of a throttle pot issue towards the end, and then we just lightly got away with hitting a bank and a granite pillar at the end. So happy enough with to be honest. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend's motorsport. We're actually very surprised to come 5th overall. We weren't there at lunchtime today, but we've really been pushing on, and a bit of a home stage back of where we work, and tyres held out, and literally came back and they're like, you realise where you finished, mate? I'm like, no, where? 5th, mate. No way. Yeah, so clean, no aggro.
Amazing work. Your times were getting better and better, especially today, actually.
Yeah, we had a few issues yesterday. We had the alternator go, we had new front suspension. This afternoon we cracked the rear disc in half, so we had a few issues. Couldn't have a handbrake this afternoon, so the spectators on Bully Bay might have been disappointed that we were a bit showboaty on the first few runs. Then after that we had to sort of tailor it back in a bit. But yeah, push hard, drive the car like you should, learning every year, you know. But for us to be up this with the big boys, made up, really made up.
Congratulations, you've had a pretty good weekend.
No, it's been really good, really pleased. It's been hard. We had a big problem with the radiator. The alternator wire broke and then arced out on the radiator and destroyed it. So we took it out on the road section and actually folded all the damaged bit over and then carried back on. We put 2 eggs in it as well to try and stop the leak, but we got through the stage.
Congratulations, you've won your class.
Thank you very much. Team effort, big effort from everyone else and all the people in the pits this weekend. We actually pushed really hard most of the weekend, but we started off quite low down. But we've now gotten to the end, and now we'll have a next decent seeding.
Yeah, because you guys had quite a battle on your hands as well, didn't you?
I believe so. We had Paul Trebell and John Eberald pushing hard in their cars, and to take our first rally together. Well, first rally.
Never thought we were even going to finish last night, let alone today. So.
And someone else has just said to me, I said, "Are you Sam's co-driver?" And he said, "No, I am not mad enough to get in the car with Sam."
We're the boys, eh? We love the power and the adrenaline. So, bring on the next one.
What's your next event?
I believe we're off to Guernsey for their rally in February, which we've already booked our hotel and we're in for that. Well, we were praying we were still in for that. But yeah, we're going to have a go in Guernsey and then maybe a UK event, but we'll see where we go.
Brilliant, congratulations guys.
Thank you ever so much.
So that brings us to the end of the Roberts Garages Jersey Rally 2018. It was a really tricky event, but Ross Onoa takes the win, and we will see you next year.
Care 40 for Raidable Crest Titans.